Welcome to Office Hours. I am Steve Drost. With me, as always, Will Kaplan. Of course, Will and I are both from the Quivr team. What is Quivr? We are the CRM built by financial advisors for financial advisors. And our objective is simple. How can we help you run your business at peak efficiency? Now, each episode, we take a couple of cool items that came directly from our users who are trying to do just that, make their lives a little bit easier. Will, I know you don't practice anymore. You gave it all up to join the Quivr team, which we appreciate. We're very happy you did that, but I still do. And I'm sure you ran into this problem at your old firm and firms throughout your career. And the example I'm going to use is Charles Schwab. I custody at Schwab, and at Schwab, I can call that 1-800 number and they'll direct me to wherever I go, but it takes longer. Or I can call the trade desks. I can call the equity desk, the fixed income desk, the derivatives team, the product team, the customer service team, right? I have 6, 7, 8, 9 different numbers that I could call at Charles Schwab. And I'm sure you had a similar experience to that.
Oh, yeah, the one that I always was like, I have to make this phone call, and that means I have to sit through their phone tree every time was calling the iRebel team at TD, right? Yeah, I definitely feel that pain. Or, you're calling your e-money team because you forgot how to enter in a particular type of planning thing. For me, it was usually like stock options because I didn't touch them as frequently. And so you'd be calling them and it's like, oh, I gotta go dig up that phone number. I'd log into the website, I'd go to the contact us page. I'd find that, that's not where I need to go look. It was somewhere else. Is it under my profile? Like, where is it? Keeping track of all that stuff is hard.
It is. And my CPA, I I have 3 people at my CPA firm that I talk to all the time. And I'll be honest, I don't remember which one does payroll. I don't remember which one does various things. I don't remember that stuff. So I sent an email to all 3 of them, and I'm sure they hate that. But we had a really interesting concept come up from a prior firm that just onboarded and how they were tracking this. And I guess this isn't really us solving a problem. It's more so users coming to us that had already solved that problem. And now we're just spreading that news.
Sharing good information.
And how they did it, I thought was brilliant. So if you look at my situation, I don't have a relationship manager at Schwab, but some people do. As we all know, that relationship manager is going to change every couple of years. They're going to get reassigned, promoted, fired, leave, or they're just going to restructure, or your firm gets bigger, so you get to go with a more dedicated team, whatever that might be. So an issue they constantly ran into was, well, the people change, the function or department doesn't. So what they did that I thought was kind of cool is inside of Quivr, we have the household, Charles Schwab, and then we have all these contacts below it. And all that they did, and I thought this was cool, was the first name on the contact was the person's actual name. So let's say, Will, you are my relationship manager. So first name was Will Kaplan, Will space Kaplan. And then the last name was your role. It was relationship manager. And I thought that was interesting because my first gut was, why don't you make the first name Will, the last name Kaplan, and then have the relation to COI be a relationship manager? And their response was brilliant. Will's our only relationship manager. We don't want to have 77 related to COI categories or related to COI categories. And Will's probably going to leave or get fired or get promoted in the next year. And we don't care because we'll just change Will's first name to, new person, and we'll change the phone number. Like, holy crap, that's brilliant. So then they had another contact where the first name was actually blank. You don't need a first name in Quivr. Last name was fixed income desk. Then they had another one. First name was blank. Last name was equities desk. And then derivatives. And then product management or product tools. I think that's how you do integration stuff. They had like 7, 8, 9, 10 contacts inside of Quivr, phone numbers if they had one, email if they had one. And then they were all just saved right there. And then if they ever want to change something, they just change the first name.
And Steve, as we kind of reflect on this and think about this, there's some really interesting unintended consequences that I think are positive that come out of this. And then the first one that I'll mention is like, and I think this goes kind of beyond this conversation, but just as a general philosophical thing, like typically text fields are your worst enemy. They're great for like dumping information into, but when you try to go get the information back out, it's really inefficient. And so we had a user in office hours that was like, well, I just store all this in a text field as a note on that household. Like I've got every single one of those departments that you mentioned and a phone number. And the challenge with that is that if I want to go get to it, I have to like go there and read the thing. Like I have to go to that household, Charles Schwab, and then I have to go read through the text list. There's no easy way for me to really get to that. Whereas with this system, I can type into search relationship and it's going like the search functionality within Salesforce is going to find that record and bring it forward and display the phone number in the hover little tool right there. And like, it just saves me a couple clicks. Like, it's not a big thing, but it is a little bit faster, and it does save some frustration on my point of having to go look for this information. And then additionally, because you're reusing the same record over and over again, if you're taking notes, if you're assigning tasks, if you're doing any of that type of functionality, it's also going to keep that same relationship to that particular record. Like, if I'm calling the fixed income desks, and one of the things that I'm supposed to do when I do that is set off a task or relate a task of, I'm trading for the Kaplan family. And this is what, here's like something in maybe the notes or the description or something that basically says what we're doing. This was based on a rebalance of this date and what. All of that's going to stay related to that particular record in the system, which from a reporting standpoint is fantastic. Like, it makes it so much easier. And so there's like, I don't think that this firm intended for that to be a benefit that they were going to get. They were just looking for an easy way to do it. But like, from a using the data and then going back in and reporting and all that, like, they're actually getting some really cool benefit by doing it this way.
Oh yeah. Well, and also too, by like that one person who was in office hours that just had it all listed in that text box. I mean, I use Zoom phone right now, and as you're a contact, I call a lot of people from my computer. So I will just, that phone number is a hot link. So if it's in a contact and that phone number is there, I just push that button and it just dials it for me right on my computer, and I don't need to hold my phone, and I'm good. Whereas if it's in a text box, I can't do that. I gotta grab my phone, type. I know that seems kind of minuscule in nature, but it's not. It's nice.
It's just one of those like small little things where it's like, oh, that's a little bit easier. I'm a little less frustrated today. I didn't have like, it's so nice.
Because
Yeah.
usually if I'm calling Schwab, I'm not happy. Usually it's because my mom can't resolve the problem. I'll be honest with you. Usually I'm calling Schwab. Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. But no, it works. It worked really well. I'm like, that's smart. And yeah, and we think about, right, why do we? I did my head immediately go into that pick list for relation to COI, right? Like relation to household, where we want, client, spouse, right? And we usually want that to be buttoned up super tight. And the reason for that with clients is because of automations. We want all of these things to happen for clients. I'm sorry, but I'm never going to send all of my relationship managers cookies. I'm never going to send the trade desk at Charles Schwab and Altruist and Fidelity the same email. I'm not going to do that. So I have zero reason to maybe retain that quote unquote perfect, you know, filterable data, because there's no benefit on the backside of that. So that's why I'm okay with this text field, because the perfect data isn't, you're not benefiting from it. And something I say often is only put it in Quivr if it's actually going to benefit you in the future. Don't enter your life insurance policies if you're never going to look at them, because that is a waste of time. But if you're going to do something with that data, then do it. And in this situation, what I care about with the data is the easiness to call them. And then what you just mentioned, record retention. And by having that same contact, using the first and last names to kind of get around what you need to get, I'm accomplishing that. I'm getting what I need to get. But that's a wrap. That was unique. I like that. I haven't yet, because this just came up this Wednesday, a couple days ago, but I am going to be doing that. I think it's a great idea. Another example of things that we talk about at office hours. So if you're a Quivr user, even if you don't have questions, come on, hang out at office hours. Don't worry. You can turn your microphone off. You can turn your camera off, and you can eat lunch. It's all good with us, or we can help you with similar items, or you might pick up on something that maybe you wouldn't have thought of yourself. If you're not a Quivr user, that's okay. Remember, everybody makes mistakes and nobody is perfect. But don't worry, it's not too late. Schedule a demo, come hang out with me, come hang out with Will, and let's see what Quivr can do for you and for your firm.